Back again with Chapter 7. Chapter 7 is called Learning to Swim. Bubba has made uka from tinned catfish and vegetables. Wood crackles in the hearth, and flames lick up the sides of the cauldron. The heat and the smell of the fish and spices mingle with my thoughts of losing Nina, making me feel queasy. Tonight we'll treat the desert dead to a fish supper. Bubba nods at the table and smiles. It's already laid with kvass and glasses and bowls of food with a decidedly fishy theme. Pickled herring with soured cream from the cold pantry, blinis with smoked salmon and dill, salted dried vobla, and mini fish dumplings. There's nothing left for me to do, so I sit by myself and help myself to a blini, hoping it will untie my stomach. Did you sleep well? Bubba asks. I nod. I'm sorry I didn't help with the cooking. It's fine. Bubba looks at me intently, and I wonder if she suspects anything. I shift in my seat and gaze across the table. The food looks lovely. Makes a change from borscht. Bubba sips the fish broth and adds more pepper. Tell me the death journey words. I don't know any of them. I frown, thinking about how I don't want to know them. I've heard the death journey words 1,000 times, and every time I've done my best to ignore them. Try, Bubba urges. The nightingale that sings finds a song. I groan and stumble over the words. May you have strength on the long and arduous journey ahead. The stars are waiting for you, calling for you, Bubba corrects. Move on with gratitude for your time on earth. I rub my temples to make it seem like I'm trying to remember. Every moment now an eternity, Bubba whispers, with infinite value, I ask, my thoughts drifting to Nina. How lovely it would be to show her the ocean. You carry with you memories of infinite value, Bubba nods. And then the bit that always changes is next. I stuff the last piece of blini into my mouth, in the hopes that it will stop Bubba asking me anything else. That's right, Bubba smiles. Then you explain what the soul has gained from their life and is taking into the stars. It is often the love of family or friends, but there is an endless variety of gifts the dead take with them. The power of music, the excitement of discovery, the light of hope. Bubba goes on, but my mind wanders again. If I spend my life guiding the dead, how will I ever gain anything to take to the stars myself? Marinka. Bubba swings back into focus and she adds a plate of spiced honey bread to the table. Pardon? I murmur. Do you remember the last words? I shake my head and sigh. Peace returning to the stars. Bubba makes a sweeping circle with her hands. The great cycle is complete. An uncomfortable heat prickles the back of my neck as Bubba entwines her fingers tightly together and looks right into my eyes. The cycle needs to complete. My heart beats faster and I feel like I might be sick. She knows about Nina. I look away, wiping my sweaty palms on my skirt. That's why guardians are so important. We have a responsibility to help souls complete their journey, to return to the stars from whence they came. What if they don't? I ask quietly, my whole head tingling. Bubba's jaws drop in shock. Maybe she doesn't know about Nina after all. Why, they would be lost forever. She gasps as if that would be the absolute worst thing in the whole universe. I lift a piece of honey bread to the plate and pick crumbs off it. I'm not hungry, just trying to distract myself. I don't want to think about what Bubba just said. I think you should say the death journey words this evening, Bubba nods slowly. I think you should guide someone through the gate. No, I can't. I shake both my head and my hands quickly. I'm not ready. Sometimes the best way to learn is to jump in, Bubba smiles, her whiskers and teeth pointing out at all angles. Remember when you learned to swim? I roll my eyes and groan. The house had been settled on a sheer cliff overlooking a deep lagoon, with warm azure water and white sunlight dappling the surface. Bubba kept asking me to try to swim, but I didn't want to get my face wet. One day, I was standing on the cliff looking out over the lagoon to the ocean beyond, when the house lifted itself up, stretched out one of its long, spindly legs, and kicked me into the water. I screamed in freefall and landed hard on the strange, echoing silence of the underwater world. After what seemed like an eternity of struggling, I burst up through the surface, gasping for air and desperately reaching for something solid. There was nothing to hold on to, no floor beneath me, nothing but sky above. My face kept sinking beneath the waves. The more I thrashed, the more I was pulled down. After swallowing several mouthfuls of salty water, I took one last breath of air and let myself drop beneath the surface. I opened my eyes, blinked, and all my panic ebbed away. It was so calm and peaceful, so blue and endless. Flecks of slit hung suspended in the water, illuminated by columns of sunlight. I began to move slowly and smoothly, as I had watched the turtles do in the mornings. My limbs propelled me gently forward, so I used the same pattern, but kicked harder. Soon, I was flying through the water, moving up to gulp the air, then descending back beneath the surface and gliding towards the shore. Every day after that, I swam, face underwater, eyes open, but I didn't forgive the house for a long time. If I'm honest, I'm not sure I ever did. I was so angry that I ignored the vine swings the house grew for me and its claws when they poked me to play tag. I don't remember playing with the house at all after that day. All of a sudden, I missed the times when I was younger and the house and I were friends. But then I remember what the house did, and anger bubbles up inside of me again. That could have killed me, I say to both Bubba and the house. Nonsense, Bubba laughs. She shakes her head. The house was watching over you, and you know how well it can swim. You were never in any danger. She pats the chimney breast tenderly. The house will always take care of you, Marinka. You should know that by now. The door creaks open, and the first of the dead drifts in. It's a translucent old man, wide-eyed and pale. Baba rushes to him, beaming. Words pour from her mouth, and though I try to focus, my mind is spinning with thoughts of Nina, the great cycle, returning to the stars, and the panic I felt when I sank beneath the blue lagoon before I was ready to swim. More of the dead arrive, wispy and solid, quiet and talkative. I'm curious to find out if I will understand any of them the way I understand Nina, but I don't. Not properly. I get a hazy impression of their thoughts and memories conveyed by body language and facial expressions, maybe the odd word here and there. It's not like with Nina at all. Nina! I feel like I should check on her, but I don't want to open my bedroom door in case she's pulled away. The gate is open now, the dead disappearing one by one. Marinka! Bubba calls. She's holding a cobweb of a man, guiding him slowly to the gate. I know what she wants. She wants me to say the death-wordy journey words and send him on his way. She's picked this old man because he's so ready, his soul is practically on the journey already. He has a faraway look in his eyes, like he sees the stars and the place with them. I turn my back on Bubba, pretend I didn't hear her, and wander around the room, serving spirit trust and false smiles. I don't want to guide anyone through the gate, not the old man, and certainly not Nina. Straightening my spine, I take a deep breath and tell myself I can't be forced into guiding the way the house forced me to learn to swim. And although I feel a sharp pang of guilt for ignoring Bubba, the rush of power at taking control over my life, if only for a short time, makes it all worthwhile.